Good morning, good noon, good evening. Whatever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909, it's Mark, Andre, myself, Isaiah, and together, that's hip-hop.
That's hip-hop. Yo, that's New York, B. Cavs in 7, get out of here.
Mark has all this.
He's on the Knicks high right now. He's on the Knicks high.
Congrats, by the way.
Hey, I like how it was mad chilled, but like before, like,
yeah, it was
and I was like, yo, this is New York,
yeah, New York now.
Straight from Cali, son.
You know
New York.
where you're at?
Freshest import.
Anyways, back to That's Hip Hop. Turned into a Knicks podcast. Today we're covering a group that changed the game, gentlemen. The album is The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. Woo. It is their sophomore album, released September 1991 by Jive Records. Tribe's sophomore effort, and this was a follow-up from their first debut album, People's Instinctive Travels and the Path of Rhythm. So that alone was already praiseworthy. But then to follow up with The Low End Theory, you know, usually people say like your sophomore album's supposed to be like the sophomore slump as they call it. But here we have an album that surpassed that.
Oh, like, this is like a cannon blowing them far into the sky on some.
A lot of people don't know
Mario 64 shit.
A lot of people aren't familiar even with People's Instinctive Travels.
Mm-hmm, right.
They'll instantly refer to The Low End Theory. That's how impactful this their sophomore effort is.
Right. So we have the opportunity today to be talking about this. This was one that we've been wanting to talk about for some time, and so here we are. Yeah. We are in the moment. Something about their reliance too on that primal like hip hop blend with like hard lyrics as well as the even harder bass, you know, made it feel like they were taking things back to basics almost.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna break it all down real fast. These motherfuckers changed it, and that's it. I'm sorry. I see where you were gonna go. I'm just gonna crush it. They changed it. They changed everything that I thought rap was. Period. That's all it is. I had this idea that rap was about aggression, masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Tons of women, money, bread, right? They came with an introspective angle, and the introspective angle was pop worthy, and that's not typical. It's not normal in any sense. You know what I'm saying? When we cover cannabis, it's like cannabis made a world and we got sucked into it, right? A Tribe Called Quest did the same thing. They made a world, but it's not intensely pulling you in. It's just existing and you enjoy it. And that's what we get on this album. It's the perfect like spring album, summer album. It's like you could play this shit outside in New York. In New York, guns, and people are enjoying this. You know what I'm saying? So the vibe that it brought all the way to the West Coast, it's like a West Coast album on the East. You know what I mean? It feels like an advancement of like a Far Side album on the East Coast.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, this is one of those ones. It's pivotal. Game changer. Complete game changer.
So for us, you know, how did we first experience it? I'll start with you, Andre. How did you first experience the Low End Theory?
My lyrical porn stash. So my cousin, once again, if you guys didn't know,
if you don't know by now,
every time you're gonna hear my origin story is I snuck into my cousin's room. He wasn't there. There's supposed to be porn in this area, but it was a bunch of hidden rap albums, and all the Tribe shit was in there, bro.
Yeah, thankfully you're beyond the statute of limitations for this, so we're all
His mom catches
exactly.
My cousin can't give me a case on this one.
I can't get in no trouble for this one, baby. But yeah, definitely was in the pile, man. And I told you Extinction Level Event is like the starting point of everything in my world. But Tribe's whole discography up to that point was in there. And my cousins, they were all rap artists. They all did rap music. And everybody in this house, I call it the Gullah Gullah Island house because everybody in the house sang. Everyone sang or rapped. It was tons of them. There's a bunch of cousins in this one house. And my cousins constantly played this album, man. It's like, it's embedded, you know what I mean? It's embedded, it's a code now, you know? It's just, I live off of the vibe that they had on this one. A lot of the stuff that they played typically was like aggressive stuff, you know? Very painful. I would call it painful music because it's just hate music, you know? And Tribe felt so peaceful in comparison. And I'm a kid, I'm a child, so I don't, you know, just the difference you feel as a kid. So yeah, Tribe was always on air, man. Always played. So this album it's in here. There's nothing I could do about it, you know? What about you? Did you find a secret porn stash or no?
No.
Nice segue into that.
Yeah. What a loaded question, huh? Did you find your secret porn stash yet? Not yet.
A Tribe Called Breasts, you know, whatever you were looking for.
There was a cassette tape that I bought, and it went with a lot of the music that I bought at the warehouse. It was called Monsters of Rap. It included a lot of songs from Hammer, Vanilla Ice, Third Base, and included in that tape was Scenario. So Scenario shows up in the Monsters of Rap tape, and this is a compilation. This is a compilation hip hop rap album, and I'm hearing this, and I'm like, "Yo, this little track is amazing." I hear Busta Rhymes in it too, and this is when around the time in 98, 99 when Busta Rhymes is doing his solo effort, so that voice is familiar.
Super familiar.
Everybody else wasn't till a little later, that being Phife and Q-Tip. And after I listened to that, I was like, damn, like this shit's hard. Like who's a Tribe Called Quest? I ended up watching a lot of television back in the day too. So went in with the like MTV and then the 24/7 music channel called The Box. So in The Box during the summer, they used to have
a lot of memories right now.
Oh, so
The Box used to have 24/7 music channels, call into request, 24/7, any genre, any time. They had a 90s week when I was off at summer school. So I was always trying to see like Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby when it played. but then Scenario played.
It sounds funny, like
because he's dead ass though. It's like
he was so big early.
Yeah. It mattered. It
mattered at that time.
But then I ended up seeing Scenario, the music video being played, and I saw the music video. I was like, dude, this music video is legit. It's entertaining. Now I see it's actually Busta Rhymes. Who are these other people?
Yeah.
So I still got more reeled in with the Tribe Called Quest. So I phase out of that and then back when I go into like my freshman year of high school, I really wanted to become more of a student of hip hop because I started writing shit out and wanted to at least do something with that. So then I bought the Low End Theory and worked my way backwards and forwards with the Tribe Called Quest. But listening to that album, the Low End Theory was one of the first albums that I was able to play without, stopping a track. It was just
no skips,
stuff that I was really wasn't familiar with because I was always hunting for singles on any hip hop track, whether it be, what I used to always get all the time. And damn, from start to finish, the Low End Theory does that for me. It's almost as if it's a continuous track. I am very happy that we're covering this because I've been listening to this album since for a good 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's been on ad nauseum for some people who aren't into Tribe, but for me, it's just a walk in the park. Into their park too, as Andre would say, this is like an open playground for them, and they're you're in there and you come and go as you may, and they're indifferent about it. Facts. That's the beauty about a Tribe Called Quest is that they're they don't care if you like them or not. They're kind of like they follow the same style of De La Soul, but De La Soul is more. We'll get into them when we do, but it's
a mountain to climb compared.
It's a more inviting space. Tribe Called Quest is a more inviting space of the conscious movement and the Native Tongues posse. It's kind of like the intro to them.
Yeah. De La Soul feels like a pill the size of a fist.
I should have brought
and Tribe feels like like a Tic Tac size pill.
Yeah.
Very digestible, very easy to receive. And, a lot of cats, because we're the lyricists, so we're looking for rhyme type shit, but I don't know why. Tribe I don't look for that with them. They have their own identity completely. And that identity is like almost past lyricism.
It was well established in the Low End Theory that, hey, look, we're not going to be either very lyrical or very like basic. We're going to be right here, and our extremes are here and here with storytelling and and being a little bit more on the lyrical side, if it's deemed appropriate. And that's it. They're at the most middle point, and it's almost kind of like to the effect of Goldilocks, where the porridge isn't that cold, porridge isn't that hot. It's just right. I should have brought the Tribe Called Quest Tour 2008 T-shirt actually,
But Nick's,
I don't want to flex on y'all too hard, but that was
a recent Knicks thing too, because that Julius Randle on it. Yeah.
But the most ancient relic that I got is the Tribe Called Quest Tour T-shirt, the 2008 Tour T-shirt.
The Rock the Bells?
Yeah. I still got that. And it's still
it's still in its shrine.
Did they sign your poster as well, or did
no? They only had one item to sign. So at Rock the Bells 08, the last Rock the Bells that I went to, I always paid for the VIP, and Tribe was there doing a signing, and I actually got Phife, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, Jarobi, and Tip to sign the inside disc art of People's Instinctive Travels in the Passive Rhythm. So I got Phife's autograph of Ali Shaheed Muhammad's, Q-Tips, and Jarobi's on that. I'm not going to bring that out, but yeah, I won't ever bring that out, but I do have it. And I'll end up posting on social media that I do have it, but it's just, it's one of my most prized possessions.
I need to see it live.
Yeah, I might have to. Who knows? I might have to. But it was kind of unfortunate to see Phife in his stage like that, because at that point in 08, he only had another 8 years till his untimely passing, and his battle with diabetes was tough, dude. You could tell he just got out of dialysis with how his hand was wrapped up. I shook my hand, it wasn't a grip of a gentleman, but it's no fault to him. But it was just a handshake, and I told him thanks, bro. Like I told Tip thanks, and Ali Shaheed Muhammad thanks, and I don't know what I told Jarobi. No disrespect to Jarobi.
I think he splashed him with water.
But I'm just like, hey, man, like...
glad you're here.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Jarobi.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
But Shaw was just like, dude, he produced most of the...
Good job, man.
Shaw produced most of the joint. Like, Tip, it was cool to meet him.
Disrespect right now. Jarobi's somewhere like...
Hey, bro, like...
working hard. Bro, he's working hard in the studio right now. Mad as a bitch.
I've listened to Tribe for a long time, and I haven't heard a Jarobi verse ever. I'm trying to hear Jarobi get off, man.
You better hope we don't catch him at that De La Soul Wu-Tang.
Oh, he knows what he could pull up to talk to me about that.
We gotta hit that, man. That's just impossible to get to.
You know, I heard Tribe for the first time through a video game. I was playing
Tony Hawk or something.
It wasn't Tony Hawk exactly, but it was something like that. It was something with skate. It was either BMX or skate. It was one of the two.
What track?
Dave Mirror's BMX or something.
Bugging out.
And
it stuck on me so much. Like I kept putting that as the track when I was doing tricks too. And then I was like, who is this guy? For some reason, like that first line, like microphone check, it stuck. And I kept playing it back and back. I never found out who it really was. Like, I guess I could have looked, but I was just young and dumb. I didn't really put the two and two together. But I always played that game. I remember putting that track on as like one of the favorites. And that's what my first experience with Phife. But then my first experience with Q-Tip, I was telling you guys, was actually the album that he put out in 98, I think you said?
Yeah, Amplified.
And that was when he did Vibrant Thing, which I liked a lot during that time.
Let's Ride, too, is a very underrated track on that. Yeah, Amplified's dope, man.
Q went hard on that one.
Yeah. So that was my experience. But then, you know, ultimately being a hip hop fan that I am, I came back to Low End Theory, to Tribe, and heard their work, and I loved it. I loved it a lot. I think the tracks that I gravitated again to was Bugging Out because I heard it when I was a kid. And then Scenario, obviously, is a huge song. That one I think I've heard just around the way commercially, probably on TV.
It's an inevitable hip hop track that you
can't
across.
Avoid it. Yeah, it's unavoidable, especially at that time. It's complete. You cannot walk past that.
Yeah, definitely. So
if you watch the box consistently,
especially that.
Shout out to the box, man. Now we just have YouTube.
And I just thought like the two really complemented each other, Q-Tip and Phife. Like their styles was very contrast, but yet very complementary.
In regards to how they sound, stylistically, how they prepare their rhymes one way, but vocally they're a wonderful pair. Wonderful pair. They just sound great back and forth between one another, man. It's just one of them groups that this is one of those that's just that anomaly that worked.
And it only took about 2 to 3 Tribe albums for you to
That's
realize.
what I was gonna say, which is crazy. On the first one, he was on there, but it wasn't like a huge presence as you felt in Low.
No, in People's Instinctive Travels, you could tell he's talking. He's rapping a little softer on the end.
You're right.
On the audio, but then on the Low End Theory, it's just he found his range on there, killed it. And within 2 to 3 albums of A Tribe Called Quest and a lot of other features with Q-Tip, you can see at this point, around 92, 93, that he's one of the most unique voices in hip-hop. Yes. Like, you can instantly know who it is. It doesn't, you will never get his voice mixed up with anybody else. Q-Tip was, and still is probably one of the most unique voices. It goes like with him and Mos Def, man. Like, you can instantly tell those two
who it is
on a track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say he would be like kind of their secret weapon in a way, like because Q-Tip is obviously kind of like I would think would be the leader more or less. He had the vision for the album. He's the one that pushed everybody to really dig deep. And I feel like with Phife, he came along and was just he delivered in what his role was, and he came I think on this album with more flavor. And I think the way he delivered on some of these big tracks like Scenario, Bugging Out, and all these others, that I think was what solidified him as not just being an addition to an album or a stand-in, but to being like a solidified MC who can like do it on his own. Like, is that good?
Yeah. And you could see throughout the long run who would end up trying to do something more outside of the group. You had Ali Shahi Muhammad doing he ended up going into a group, if I'm not mistaken, and then still doing solo stuff.
Yeah.
But then you also had Q-Tip who ended up doing his solo stuff too, but Phife never really
ventured in another direction.
Yeah, never really went outside of that, which was still good too, because now you see that he's forever going to be with a Tribe in that sense, even at the last album that they had.
Facts.
I
Some
heard,
people treat it like Tribe is Q-Tip's group.
And
yeah.
Even I personally, when I was young, I thought it was Q-Tip's group. When I was a kid, I didn't know.
And you talk about, if we're going to be starting with Bugging Out, dude, there was the biggest surprise that I got at Rock the Bells 06 was, so Black Sheep was on stage, right? And Drez was about to close up, and he's like, "Man, matter of fact, I think I'm gonna bring a special guest out for you guys." And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, who's it gonna be?
Yeah, right.
And the only thing you hear is, dum, 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 and then just me and like a few like heads were just like, ah! and like the ones who knew just microphone check, what it, dude, it went nuts. It went crazy. Bugging Out is the track that if you got a live set to do, rest in peace, Phife can't do it anymore, but dude, I could just imagine like Prime set it off. International cats love going crazy with that.
Yeah.
Like you see international footage, everybody's just like bugging out on the literal.
Are we rolling into Bugging Out now? Because we got our 3 favorites, and this might be the first time we all have the same 3.
Yeah.
We have the same 3 favorites. So we're gonna start off with Bugging Out. Because without a doubt, it's just one of those joints that's like memorable from the beginning. The moment you hear it, you know exactly what you're about to get into.
Those guitar strums.
Oh my God. And just
very memorable.
The vibe, every element of this song to me works. And it's funny because compared to the first track on this joint, I feel like Bugging Out still, once again, we always talk about the second song. Have you noticed? The last, I think, 2 or 3 albums, we've all convened on the second album. Or sorry, the second song on the album. Yeah. And the second song really is like that moment where we just take off. The introduction is like, hi, what's up? This is what we about to do.
Yeah.
Then the second song is like, are you ready? Like, we're about to do this to you. And that's what this feels like. This is beyond time itself, man. Bugging Out is beyond time.
The timing, like the way he comes in, it's like
every
rapper's
like the
dream.
most
Every rapper's dream to come in like
he timed it with the atomic
check,
clock.
1, 2. What is this?
Yes.
His yo starts
What
off
is
like,
this? But it's so accented. It's perfect, though, man.
It's
just it's alive, man. And as artists, their delivery, their performance on the mic, everything that they do is just so authentic. You can't fake what they were doing.
No.
And you can't say that they were in the game to perform as hip hop artists.
Yeah.
They were just really here doing this shit. And this whole album feels authentic. It's like, I want to emphasize one thing, guys. It's like, you can't fake authenticity. Even if you try to make it, like if you try to mold authenticity and convene with your people and say, this is what authenticity is and we're going to do it, it still will come off fake. They're not thinking about what's happening. They're just creating music, and it's a vibe you can't fabricate. It can't be fabricated or duplicated.
I love that about that, because these two, it's like, they're not speaking about, it's almost like they're writing, trying to impress each other, not trying to impress the outside
like they're writing
world.
to each other.
Yeah, you can tell, like, and that's something that I found is really a key ingredient to a successful album as well, where you're just being authentic yourself, and delivering something that's coming from the heart, and having fun with it. But at the same time, there's some things in here that are just gems and profound. But let's talk about this first line. He says, yo, microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business. I float like gravity.
Never had a cavity. Got more rhymes than...
Winans got family.
What is it about? I know, that's a sick bar. What is it about that first line that, like,
authenticity? The phrase authenticity, or the concept of authenticity, is I am not trying to put an air on in any form. I'm literally speaking on the microphone, and I wrote something that means something to me. That's it. That's all authenticity is. Somebody that's outside of authenticity will write the best verse you've heard in your life. But when they get on the microphone, they're going to try to perform it. They're going to try to make it real. Whereas what Phife's
coming from a place of honesty.
He's coming from a place of honesty, but he's not trying to fucking prove anything.
Right.
And there's something that inside of delivery, you can tell when somebody's trying to prove a point, right? When you're in a debate, it's like, no, this is what it means, right? Compared to, no, this is what I believe. This is my perspective. This is what it is. Phife has always had the chill delivery, but Q-Tip to me is, everybody's going to love Q-Tip for what he does, because he has the perfect sound. Vocally, just performance-wise, who he is, we all gravitate to Q-Tip.
Yeah.
But Phife definitely put his balls on the table on this one.
He did. He did. It's a
Nuts
good way to describe it.
Right on the table.
What about for you, Mark? What is it about this, like, opening line here from Phife that, like, really does it for you?
I would like to be the fly on the wall that was hearing the instrumental while Phife Dawg's writing it, because you gotta, knowing where he's gonna start, has to start precisely right at the microphone check, 1, 2. What is this?
Drop.
The 5-foot
it is
assassin,
like a drop
the
there,
roughneck
like,
business. It's like, I could just want to be there when he's writing it, because it comes with the ultimate description of what Phife Dawg is. It's just, the Phife, being the Phife, like playing the actual instrument of the Phife, is an allusion to the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
The Phife Dawg gonna have you follow him.
Yeah.
And with that, he openly knows that he's short, dark, and he's but he's also a dog with the roughneck business. Letting you know that, hey, looking like, you want to try me, you come and try me.
Yeah.
Like, you want a fair one, I'll get you a fair one. Like,
it's the perfect balance.
The best way to describe yourself.
Yeah.
Float like gravity, and then exposing your dental records to let them know you never had a cavity. There's just, like, when you talk, like what Andre was mentioning too, you get the honesty from Phife Dawg. This is a guy who is just leveling with you lyrically.
He doesn't
on his
need to
description, and had he went away from his authenticity, you'd be able to see it a mile away. And with this sound, this delivery, I'm glad it took him. I'm glad we ended up finding his sound in the sophomore effort, because there's a lot of evidence, as I mentioned, in People's Instinctive Travels, that you could tell that Phife is really holding back a lot. Like Ham and Eggs, you will hear it.
Yeah,
like,
he's not going
Ham and Eggs joint.
He's not going all the way in.
You'll hear it.
You can hear it for sure.
But because I feel like on my end, sorry to cut you off. Personally, I feel like they try to find a very healthy balance, because as a writer myself, as I listened to them, like, man, I know you wanted to rhyme more than that. You had to, right? You know, as a writer yourself, you'll listen to rhymes and go, I could have added.
It's like hoping for the best.
rhymes.
It's like hoping for the best
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
especially because we all, you know, want to write that perfect verse. And we all
sport
hope
new-
for the best in our favorite MCs.
I sport New Balance sneakers to avoid a narrow path and mess around with this catch a size 8 up your ass. Like, you know, it's a shoe reference, but it's like the slick writing shit, man. I want to emphasize
Confident enough to put a size 8.
confidence. That's the word. Confidence. They have a confidence that isn't expressed through high level bravado. At that time, to be confident, especially from New York, you got to be punching motherfuckers through a wall, bro. Like, for real. The level of energy that's needed. I'm sorry, I'm still heavy on Wu-Tang. I've been watching the Wu-Tang show, and all the energy I got off the Wu-Tang show, I looked at Tribe and said, they're like almost, I wouldn't say polar opposite. That's not true. They're just more so a response to Wu-Tang, you know, the energy of Wu-Tang, right? It's not beef in any way, but Wu-Tang is just, I'm going to kick your door down and kill everybody in your house, right? No disrespect. And Tribe to me is like, let's have a barbecue. Everybody in the room, everybody here, we're all one. We're all welcome. There's elements of spirituality in this shit, but it's not emphasized in a way that's preachy.
Yeah, it's more like implied rather
It's
than
implied.
it is.
Tribe will still try you.
Overside.
They're
They'll
not
try you.
like
They'll
they're
tribe
not,
you.
The Tribe will still try you. Like they're, you know, like Andre has mentioned, they're still from New York. You don't get super conscious. You don't get super conscious lyrically. Perfect example would be Diggable Planets. Diggable Planets is super lyrical. They're like their MC names are via insects. So you got Doodlebug and Ladybug Mecca.
Yeah.
Like there's all that, but then let's go back to Tribe, and it's like, hey, look, these guys are equally as lyrical, but they'll still come with stories letting you know, hey, look, like there's no slack in my Mac when it comes to any of that stuff.
And one of the key elements of Tribe is their storytelling is so organic that it just sounds it sounds like they're just talking about what they did that day. You know, I mean, this whole project feels like just very well written stories. And what does a story do for you general listeners? A general listener is what I call a Walmart listener that don't really even understand rhyme schemes, concepts, or what is even going on in rap music. When you listen to Tribe as a general listener, you hear a story that you want to hear the end of. That's it. As simple as I can make it for you. And all their stories are really engaging. I just want to know what you got to talk about. Like Butter, right? Butter's not one of our favorites. We didn't make it a favorite, but Butter is one of those that you'll listen to and go, man, every piece of the puzzle is present. You hear a story and you
vocals,
engage. And,
to
and
the
the beat
instrumentals.
makes you go crazy. Oh my God, Butter is dope. But, you know, conceptually, what you get out of these projects, these songs on this project is just the storylines are straight to the point.
Right.
And they're not cannabis level. What I mean by cannabis level is cannabis wants you to go on this journey with him. And the journey might not make sense to you, but the pieces will come together eventually. Tribe feels like you eventually might get some ideas, but everything you hear right now is going to hit you on the spot. On the spot. And these guys are fucking with Busta. They're fucking with the best, Black Thought.
Right.
And they're around these guys that have the mental concept of we need to exceed everybody lyrically. And Tribe to me, probably why Jay Dilla caught their attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's this humbleness they play off of how they write as lyricists, right? Cannabis he's not humble. Kendrick's not humble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Tribe always felt, as much as they wanted to be, as artists and rappers that you can see all over the world, they're very humble. It's weird how humble these guys are. It's like,
But you know
are you
what?
really this humble?
You know what's crazy about that is that they were their authentic selves and being humble, like you were saying,
Right.
but still were somehow able to cross over
Yes.
and make it commercially without really trying to really be like that.
If I could sprinkle some salt on what
Go
you
ahead,
said, it's the idea that in, you know, the general listener, let's say, you know, Walmart listener, in my head, there's no race to the Walmart listener. There's no race that exists. There's not a white person, black person, Asian person, nothing, Mexican, nothing. So when you think of the general listener, what can I say that would hit everybody in the room equally? I'm having a good time at a party. That line alone will hit everybody in the room. And Tribe has this ability to make everything feel like that line.
Yeah.
We're having a good time, y'all.
Mhm.
We about that light, y'all. We good, y'all. But if you fuck with me, I'll punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Right?
For them, it's about like dignity, self-respect. It's like
clarity of self.
Yeah.
Right? Wu-Tang to me feels like a bunch of spiritualists that will still kill you. Right? And I'm not making fun of Wu. I'm just saying Wu's energy
just much
feels
more
like
aggressive.
we're self-aware, but I have a gun and I will use it as soon as possible. Whereas Tribe feels like we don't need guns, y'all. Just have fun with us. Listen to my story real quick. I met a chick. I wanted to smash. She didn't let me smash, so I made a decision, right? The Daybreak joint that eventually comes out, right? But anyway, long story short, man, we still on Bugging Out, man, because we'll get lost. So on Bugging Out, though, when it comes to Bugging Out, as it being the second song on the entire project, it feels like Terminator 2. It just feels like just an extreme amount of energy, ideas, concepts coming together, and Phife is leading this bitch.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. I love, how he just asked the question even, what is this? Because like, I don't know if he's coming
What are y'all
in
trying
like,
to do?
To me, I'm picturing two different ways of this. I'm picturing like he's just coming in like, oh, microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? And he just flows into it.
Like he walked in the booth
or,
accidentally.
Yeah. Or
I like the way you look at it like that.
Yeah. Or it could be like the audience is asking, what is this? And he's describing himself like, hey, I might be 5 foot something, but hey, I'm a terror. Like, if you want to try me. So I love that contrast to that. And his style to me is super dope. And particularly this line, like styles upon styles upon styles. Oh man. There's nothing really technically great about it. It's just dope though. Like dope. Styles upon styles upon styles is what I have. I love that delivery. And I love the fact that he is somebody that, you think and that's what he goes on. You think but you don't know the half or whatever. Like, you can't even guess. You can't pinpoint him. He's, that's the beauty of it. Like, he's going to come with another thing that's going to throw you off. And somebody called, I think it was one of the producers that worked on this album particularly called Tribe, or this album, the Beatles, Pepper album.
Sgt. Pepper album.
So this is their Sgt. Pepper.
He was saying that this is like their Sgt. Pepper's album. But I don't know, because
That's a Renaissance level album.
It was different, for hip hop at that time. Because we're talking about like at that time it was like NWA, Public Enemy. Who else was out there? De La Soul.
Okay, wait. If I could stop you there.
Yeah.
Those three right there, delivery wise, when they perform their lyrics, yells.
Right. Ice Cube
yells, forceful yells. At the time, rap would be considered highly masculine music, right? Tribe, to me, adds an element of femininity. Pause. What I mean is it's a sensible type of it's a sensible type of delivery, right? Ice Cube compared to what we're hearing here, right? I'm yelling at I can't do an Ice Cube impression, but you got me. Yeah. We be covered. But you got me. Right?
He wasn't doing that.
He wasn't doing that yet, but in the future he will. But Ice Cube's delivery, because Ice Cube happens to be one of my father's favorite MCs, so he played him all the time. Yeah. Ice Cube makes you feel like you're gonna die. Tribe does not make me feel like I'm gonna die. Even as a child, when I listened to Ice Cube, I felt as a child something's gonna happen to my family. But with Tribe's music, when I'm spending time with my cousins, when I say barbecue music, that's something like y'all gotta get. Barbecue music is we got all culture sitting in one spot. Bloods, Crips, essays, everybody's in one space, and we're having a good time.
Chill vibe, you're vibing.
Tribe is the barbecue group, right? And I mean this. This is very important. This is pre-Mos, right? So, Mos Def, when we talked about Mos Def, Black on Both Sides, it's like he kind of brought something that really showed lyricists what they thought they were doing and showed them what they could do. Right. Same with Tribe. Same on this album. Delivery-wise, I wanted to talk about the delivery. I'm sorry. Back in the day, to show who you are as an MC, you have to punch the wall the hardest, right? That's the Kung Fu law. If I punch the wall and break bricks, then you know I'm a real man. Tribe, to me, felt like they didn't even attempt to prove manhood. And we get evidence of this.
Yeah. But yet you do sense that they're both men, like smart.
They're clearly men.
Diligent men.
Clearly men, but they're if I could give you a visual, guys, of what hip hop felt like at that time, is a bunch of niggas with their arms up like Popeye. Boom! Showing off their muscles. Hulk Hogan all the time. And Tribe to me felt like they were here to just lean back and talk to you. You're a person, right? You know what I mean? Even KRS-One at that time was yelling at us. So to me, Tribe to me had this element of masculine and feminine. If you get back to that, it's just masculine and feminine. Masculine being, I'm talking about some real shit and I mean what I'm saying. But the feminine is, I don't have to slit your throat to say what I'm saying. I don't have to yell at you. I just want to talk about what's going on. And every fucking track on this album feels like they were calling out the entire game. Because the entire game to me is, they will throw the mic and break that bitch if they have to, right? The most braggadocio we get is at the end of the album, last song of the album, right?
Yeah.
Before we even see anything, you know what I'm saying, from these guys. So to cut my situation short, it's just, these guys' delivery for real is the perfect balance of masculine and feminine. They're bravado, but they're not screaming bravado.
Yeah.
The women know you're speaking bravado, but you don't have to yell at the women to have them enjoy you. And that's what I'm seeing here, man. It's what they do, man. And also instrumentally, as far as the beats and everything, it suggests that they go in this direction. You can't get these beats to woo. You can't get into this Ghostface Killer and expect some smooth shit to come out.
Inspector Deck probably would have
Inspector Deck, yeah, exactly.
He got slided on his stuff, but
you know what I'm saying? So, and the knowledge is still present in this music, right? Zulu Nation, Brothers Last Creation, Minds Get Flooded, Ejaculation, right?
Yeah, on Q-Tip. This is Q-Tip's
verse.
Yep.
And Zulu Nation, right off the bat, we already in another plateau of information. So we're back into what we know. They're still talking about, or at least they're still having the same conversation as those in the boroughs of that period. All right. But they're doing it different. I want y'all to feel it. It's like, it's just a different flavor of what we doing. It's not vegan, it's vegetarian. You know what I'm saying? It's just vegetarian. It's just a little different, you know? But yeah, you get me.
Well, I feel like that bass line, to this whole album in itself, that bass line just, it
drives your soul.
It drives it. Yeah, it really drives it. And, I love that, because throughout the album, like you were saying, Mark, it almost feels like almost one cohesive, track almost, the whole album, because it all kind of flows together. And I'm surprised that Phife is only on 4 or 5 tracks on this album. It feels like he's on.
It feels like he's a part of the whole. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. It feels like he's on so much more, but he's only on 4 or 5 tracks of here. I'm not sure the number. It's one of those two, but yeah. So Q is talking about Zulu Nation, My Brother's Last Creation, Mine Gets Flooded, Ejaculation.
Right on the 2-inch tape.
Abstract poetic.
Do you guys have any favorite lines out of this verse from Q-Tip?
You know what's funny? I wanted to put that in there too. I hardly ever have favorite lines from these guys. It's more of unfortunately, it's just vibe, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of vibe.
Tribe is vibe, and I feel like artists today kind of lean towards vibe over lyricism, right? We did the mumble rap talk a while back.
Yeah.
Mumble rappers to me are more vibe than lyrics. I just want you to feel what I'm saying, even though it might not make sense. But Tribe does this thing where it's like, I don't want to be jealous of how good they are, but the idea is the pop sensibility doesn't make sense in a weird way, because they're like frustratingly pop, but they feel underground. They feel like I'm hiding this album, right? Yeah. But you listen to it and it feels like it can be played to any group of people. You know what I'm saying? So we can't play Cannabis to white chicks out in Claremont. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna vibe. They're not even gonna move in that direction. Tribe to me will get them moving. You know what I'm saying? So these women will hear lines about Zulu Nation and not give a fuck. They'll just keep it moving. Whereas Cannabis would be like Zulu Nation and have the whole song be called Zulu Nation, and maybe 3 verses about Zulu Nation and how Zulu Nation was founded, who worked on it. You know what I'm saying? Tribe is just saying we got the knowledge, but we want you to feel something. And that's what it is. It's a feeling. Tribe is a vibe. I say it a lot, but it's what it is, man. They just do it that way, man. As I crack the monotone children of the jazz, so get your own smoking R&B, because they try to do me or the best of the pack, but they can't do rap. For its abstract original, you can't get your own. That's pitiful.
So what do you guys think about that line, children of the jazz? Because in a
hip hop
funny
is
way,
the child of jazz.
in a funny
yeah.
way, this album is essentially kind of that bridge to that gap of, jazz, hip hop. This kind of like crosses that.
No disrespect, it's a smooth jazz rap. It's smooth jazz rap.
Yes, it's
absolutely
smooth jazz rap. That's perfect. Like it's right there.
And it's in a weird way, like even though it is jazz rap, you still get the sense that it's more hip hop though, still in that. And but what are your guys' thoughts about that? Like that crossover like that, and
that's what
well,
it is.
Is jazz an influence to you guys in rap?
I think conscious rappers excel with jazz influenced instrumentals. Mm-hmm. It will give you the idea, it'll give you the inspiration of just taking a little deeper look into the instrumental, and then as you're writing to the instrumental, you realize, hey, look, I don't really need to go hard on this, talking about anything to the subject of material items, my hedonistic ways. You can actually like take a little deep dive and take a deep dive into yourself, because you're listening to jazz. When I'm doing work on like anything that requires like a lot of patience, a lot of like peace and quiet, I'll put on Miles Davis, because I need my own thoughts running through. I don't need anyone else talking over like
you need to be able to hear your thoughts.
Exactly.
Yourself,
and then but I'd rather hear some instrumentation to it, and I love hearing jazz.
Because you don't want to hear dead silence either, because sometimes that's even in the way.
Dead silence, huge dead silence.
Yeah.
In the same vein of, hey, look, instead of it's going to be me working on something like putting shit together or doing that, in the terms of like with Tribe, when they hear Bugging Out, the instrumental, you hear a bass line in the beginning, and you're like, wow, like let me I kind of get the idea where I need to be with this song lyrically. And that's why you find the perfect balance of most of these songs, which are centered into jazz laced tones and instrumentation. You find that perfect balance, which now we kind of decreed it as like a jazz influenced hip hop album, because it almost is. Most conscious rap albums that you're going to listen to, Diggable Planets, De La Soul, and the like, you'll end up seeing that. A lot of people from the native tongues, you'll hear it a lot.
I do feel like it is more distinctive though, still to hip hop, because in a way it has the jazz influence, but it's not totally jazz. It is hip hop still, but it has those little elements. Like some of the samples, they didn't just take the sample and loop it.
Right.
That's what who does that? Madlib does that. He kind of loops a perfect sound. Loops
the best part.
With Tribe here, they took a sample and they like cut it and like made it different, like a different melody.
Yeah. I think they brought another vibrant energy to jazz. Jazz can sometimes be heavy and depressing, or jazz can actually be very difficult to interpret.
Right.
So, because jazz is, in my understanding of music, is just the most elitist form of musicianship. Jazz literally is the sound of perfect music in every direction. My bass player is playing perfectly. My keyboard player is playing perfectly. My synth player is playing perfectly. My drummer's playing perfectly. All of these guys are coming together, and it sounds like cacophony. It sounds like it just sounds ridiculous. But when you, as a musician, listen to it, you go, everybody's exactly where they need to be, and that's the power of jazz. Jazz is the culmination of genius artistry from multiple perspectives coming into one place.
So with that being said, you have two MCs who you never thought would ever meet the same way, coming as one.
Yeah, true.
To create this group along with Ali Shaheed Muhammad making the beats.
True.
You need them
to just find the perfect mix.
They say that Ali Shaheed Muhammad was more or less like the glue that helped kind of keep things together too. So
imagine if he wasn't there though.
Yeah, he played a big role too. I do want to mention, since we were on this subject, the first track of this album, Excursions, because I had to kind of just look up that word, on up my own vocab. But Excursions was kind of like a word that means a little deviation from the path, and I kind of looked at it in a way like he's saying, okay, you had jazz, and here's a deviation from jazz, and here
Or
we're
maybe
going into hip hop.
Maybe even a deviation from mainstream hip hop.
Oh yeah, maybe even a deviation from mainstream hip hop. So it could go in two different ways there. And he even talked about that. Like his father was saying, it sounds like bebop. The sound of hip hop, and he was just saying, well, yeah, but it's
just like Bobby Brown's just an ample like Michael.
Yes. So it's really dope. This album already the not only just the tone but the theme, it's all very cohesive.
So cohesive.
Even digging into the literal track that we kind of had as honorable mention, jazz. We got the jazz. These gentlemen are literally affirming that they do have the jazz, and that is the
dope song.
That is the culmination of perfect music from different instruments.
Well, while we slide, man, our next one was Check the Rhyme, right?
Yeah.
Let's get up on that, man.
Check the Rhyme is one of my favorites out of this album.
And then you hear if you ever hear it on the seat on your headphones, you'll hear left, right, and it's their voices.
Yeah.
It's Phife's and Q-Tips.
Ooh, it's just a culmination of beautiful, beautiful production. It's one of the best produced albums in the game.
Jazz horns in it too. And then the rhymes
the switches up. No, production wise, the switch ups are butter.
Yeah,
absolute butter, man.
I love on this one because when I heard like the hook or whatever, it sounded like a verse to me. And then once I heard it again, I was like, oh, this is the hook. It's actually them switching from doing like the main part of it, like are you on point of Phife? Yeah, yes. I'm on point Tip or whatever. They were like kind of flipping it, and then after Tip's verse, they flip it like.
Well, get on there though. Get on there, okay? If you want to talk about it, it's like from a writer's perspective and also as an MC, the back and forth is it can be simple. I write my verse, you write your verse, I write my verse, right? Well, if my verse bleeds into your verse and we respond back and forth to each other, you've taken the songwriting to another level. And I feel like their back and forth, their call response is fucking perfect, man. It's fucking perfect. It really sets an example for the rest of history. Yeah. It works so well.
It kind of sets the standard for whenever you rap with another MC like that.
Facts.
Like you want to make sure it's as fluid as that.
Yeah.
Because it felt very fluid.
It felt like they were really on one take together.
Right.
I like
if there were one person.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
They were breathing the same air,
even to the lyric point, it goes, yo, Phife, you remember that routine that we used to make Spiffy like Mr. Clean? And he's like, what routine? So like as they're early MCs back in the day, they're like, yo, we used to have something to entice the crowd. And he's like, a tidbit, a smidget. I don't get the message, so you got to run the pigeon.
Yes.
So as a pigeon would be the one to send the message out. And then you on point Phife all the time. Tip, you on point. Like that would be their back and forth in a live crowd as they were MCing.
We would do it in live shows too. We would do the back and forth like that. It would be the can you kick it, and then also like you on point puns, you on point mark, and we just do it back and forth.
Well, then grab the microphone and let your words rip, and then the perfect setup too. It's like a good bounce pass, dude.
Yeah. No, that's what it is. No, okay. So once again, all right,
that's it.
All my lyricists that are getting mad, right? The idea is simple. It's not a hyper lyrical song back and forth. It's just two fucking vibey ass guys talking to each other on the track. And the tonal switches on the beat, the instrumentation is fucking excellent. I was just playing it for my mom when we came back from the airport today. And she was vibing. My mom loves this shit. And she don't even know Tribe. For real, she don't, man. She hates all the music I play. So when I was playing this one, she was on it. She was bobbing her head, man. So it speaks beyond me that the lyricologist's mom still fucks with Tribe.
It transcends for sure.
It transcends lyricism. Because on my end, when I play Mama's song, she's just like, it sounds like a bunch of words. I don't want to hear it anymore, right? But when I'm playing this, she's just like, oh, okay, I get it, right?
It's like getting you reeled in with instrumentation.
Right. No, she's like, I like this guy over all the other guys. I'm like, it's not one guy, it's a group of people, whatever. But she, the idea that I could play is from my mom, and she vibes with it. Yeah. You feel me?
Right.
But
that's like it speaks to a lot of different people.
Speaks to
very
every
big
angle
range,
of y'all.
Very big range.
Yes, man. But production-wise and instrumentally, you get a lot of changes on this joint, man. A lot of tonal changes, sound changes, and sample flips.
I love the bass and the snap to this. Doom, doom, doom.
Yes. This shit hits the soul, bro. Yes.
doom, doom, doo, doo. I love that.
Oh my God.
It's
And
a sick beat to me.
And just so real, man. My problem with Q-Tip and Phife is these niggas are so like they're really out of this world.
Do you want to say that they could do more? Just say
no.
it.
I want to talk about them like they're outcasts, but they're not. They're not outcasts. They're not outcasts at all. And outcast to me is like they just push the boundary so beyond what we thought was going to happen.
And that's a good example too, because outcasts are literally north and south of each other,
Yes.
especially like as the
Very
later
true.
albums went down.
Yeah, it's very
These
odd how
these
they
two
are kinda
gentlemen,
similar in that.
Phife Dawg and Q-Tip, are different, but they're like
very different, but they have the same
but they found the connection.
energetic
connection,
energetic link if you want to be spiritual, right? They just they're like soulmates, man. They're perfect.
You know what I wanted to address in Check the Rhyme?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people will leave Easter eggs from their previous album and use it in a bar. I slayed a body in El Segundo and Push It Along. Push It Along is actually one of the joints that they use in People's Instinctive Travels. And then I left my wallet in El Segundo, but in this case, he slayed a body there. So I was like, okay, cool. I like that.
I like that. I like that.
I was like, all right, because that's the first
catch.
This is honestly the first instance where I caught that. Like, I don't know people leaving Easter eggs of their previous album effort into new bars of a new song on a new album.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now here's a funky introduction of a nice I am. Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram. I'm like an energizer because, you see, I last long. My crew was never whack because we stand strong.
Yeah.
And it's very, like, tell your mother, tell your father. I love, like, he just has a lot of style, man. He just has a lot of style.
He's super, he's underrated for sure.
Early swag.
Yeah, his
Very
voice
early
is sick.
swag.
I'm just a fly MC who's 5'3" and very brave.
I was just looking at that line.
I'm chaining because I misbehave. I come correct and full effect. How my hoes in check. And before I get the buck, the gym must be erect.
Wrecked.
So that's cool. He's promoting safe sex too. He's like, wants the Jimmy on.
He got the Jimmy hat ready, son.
I guess what I would say about the two, because Q-Tip has a sick voice too. His voice is more smoother. It's weird though because you would think by the sound of it, like Q-Tip would be the more shorter, like kind of like chubbier one. You would think just from audibly hearing him.
Yes.
And Phife would be like the taller, skinnier guy.
It's like the first time hearing Ja Rule.
Yes, exactly.
Extremity and rhythm, that's what you heard. Perfect bounce pass to his fellow MC. So just clean out your ears and just check the word. And then Q-Tip goes, well, check the rhyme, y'all. Check the rhyme, y'all. Like, it's a perfect plug into his name of Q-Tip. Your homie's letting you know.
If you want a perfect dynamic between two MCs and artists, this is the one, man. And shout out to Check the Rhyme. By the way, genius, Check the Rhyme. Y'all stole Lyricology 101's concept. You called it Check the Rhyme, and then you highlighted rhymes. Admit it. That's true, man.
Hey, that's a good clip.
After my show came out, after Lyricology 101 came out, and we was doing breakdowns, Check the Rhyme came out like months after, and they did exactly what I was doing.
You better lawyer up.
And then people on Genius hit Genius up about me, and Genius didn't want to talk to me, so they know they stole that.
A lot of people on Genius know where they got the whole style from.
Exactly, son. Shout to Genius for stealing my shit, man. But yeah, anyway, Check the Rhyme from Genius was stolen from me, y'all. But anyway,
make that a clip. Make that a clip.
Make that a clip ASAP. Make it a reel. Shorts.
If
TikTok.
knowledge is the key, then just show me the lock. I got the scrawny legs, but I move just like Lou Brock. Lou Brock, Hall of Fame baseball player. Shout out to Lou Brock.
I love how Mark has the exact specific knowledge of every part of it.
With speed, I'm agile. Plus, I'm worth your while. 100% intelligent black child. My optic presentation sizzles the retina. You just looking at him.
Your eye will just be destroyed.
How far must I go to gain respect? Well, it's kind of simple. Just remain your own, or you'll be crazy, sad, and alone. And this is the most important rule that you guys must know about the industry. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady.
Shady.
Everybody's used that from whoever. Like, I've seen it been used multiple times. It's like they'll even just say, y'all know about industry rule number 4080. And then there's going to be people in the back that will finish it off
and
for
be
you.
down for you.
You know what I always found interesting on some of albums we've covered or just those big albums that, you know, we want to cover, is anytime you look on YouTube, man, the comments are actually sometimes very beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the way people comment about their memories of a track.
I was on LSD once and we were at the park and I found myself. I was reinvigorated.
Just let me read some of them. Let's see. Somebody said, I am bugging. This album stands the test of time. Pack a bowl and bump a bomb-ass album when you're kicking it.
I Can't Stop Crying.
Yeah, I never walked the street thinking it's all about me. Even
deep in my heart, it really could be.
That line is sick, though. That line is sick, though.
Dude, I've been listening to this fucking album for so long. It's just like, it really could be.
Great outlook from somebody, especially from someone so talented.
There's not a lot of
underrated song.
There's not a lot of hip hop albums that get actually recognized by the Library of Congress, and the Low End Theory, Low End Theory is actually preserved by the Library of Congress. Select TV shows, select albums, select just media gets preserved by the Library of Congress as something that is supposed to be preserved to, you know, illustrate the history of that time.
How does that happen? Like to get
cultural impact. It has to be full-fledged cultural impact all the way through. I mean, on an economic level.
What other albums are even close to that? Or
like a good example,
Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're
Black Album, maybe.
TV wise, I know the Twilight Zone is also one of the shows. Like, so it's just stuff that is just
very impactful.
You know, it was
Nas
there
is
during this
Illmatic.
time.
Nas is Illmatic.
I would say if I was going to take a good educated guess on why, it would be, this is the bookmark. This is chapter 1 of the conscious movement, the native tongues movement of like a very popular conscious album.
Yeah. Because I mean, they were also part of that Zulu Nation we was talking about, which who's in that? KRS is in that, right?
Yeah,
KRS One.
No, well, see,
myself personally, me,
because I know the native tongues is Queen Latifah, De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, A Tribe Called Quest, Black Sheep, and a few other people. Like, people are gonna like check me on this hip hop wise. But it's
exactly.
Like
comment section's gonna
5
go
or
crazy
6,
on this.
right? I'm just like, oh, you forgot, you know, leaders of the new school. My bad.
Isn't that who led that Africa
Leaders of the old school?
Africa
Zulu.
Zulu
I think
Nation.
Zulu Nation was led by Africa
had the
Bambaataa.
Zulu Nation, but these are the children and the children and the subsidiaries of that nation. You feel me?
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, do you guys want to go on to the next track that we got?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Which one is
Scenario?
Hey,
but give me a second, fellas. I'll be right back. All right.
We're gonna take a brief
we'll take a quick breather.
This is a perfect time for me
calls.
to plug in some.
Thank you for watching.
Nature calls.
Feel free to subscribe.
He's been holding it the whole
Isaiah,
time.
hit me a beat.
He's been holding it this
This
whole
is
time.
this is a good time to let you guys know that That's Hip Hop is all available on various social medias, including Spotify, YouTube.
We got
iHeartRadio,
Google Play.
wherever you can find your favorite podcast, you will find That's Hip Hop.
Yeah, and we
Also
do appreciate you guys' support.
Yes, and That's Hip Hop is also
Affiliated,
but the Notorious Pin is a proud sponsor of That's Hip Hop. So make sure to check out the notoriouspin.com.
I haven't seen the checks yet, but
I haven't seen the check. No, we're sponsoring you guys.
yeah, I haven't seen the checks.
You're all like, do you know how sponsorship works? Hey, yo, check this out. I got the Tribe
that?
socks.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Dang, dude.
I was
came
able,
with it.
yeah.
So
These are the Midnight Marauder socks.
You got Nick's and Tribe on there. So
you check out these Tribe socks, the Midnight Marauders.
I didn't see
Midnight
that
Marauder socks. I found a bunch of these. I found a bunch of the Midnight Marauder socks. At a swap meet. At a swap meet in San Bernardino.
I think you brought that up to me one time.
Yo, so I found like 9 pairs. I took 1 pair for myself, and so I end up like posting them all on eBay for like $14, a couple of bucks shipping. They were gone in a week. I guess the brand Neff or whatever that makes the socks.
It's rare.
Apparently, dude, they were gone in a week. I ended up giving one of my homies off the jump as soon as I posted it. He's like, yo, let me get a pair. I'm like, that's gone. Wow. And then after that, a week later, ding, ding, like my eBay was popping off, and it never pops off. And like for a pin here, pin there, whatever. Dude, for these Tribe socks,
instant.
Yeah, it was
overnight success, baby.
Hey, piece to his shirt too. He got some
Right,
Rialto
you got the
shirt.
most authentic Rialto I've ever seen
Rialto.
since 1911.
I barely found out that
Been fucking documented.
yo, I didn't know that Rose's Market stopped selling food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the mom stopped or something like
Yeah,
that.
that sucks, bro.
Yeah.
So
A little plug in for Rose's Market.
Right.
Yo,
They
that's-
probably got an F on it, like,
Yeah, I
like
think
health.
it's somewhere around here on the street.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, Rose's Market is a little market that's like a liquor store,
Dude,
but also a grocery little
Pops used to
outlet.
go there, bro. That's
Yeah,
how.
man.
It's like,
Pops is
And they used to serve like some mean ass burgers.
that's Roses is that one, bro.
Yeah. And what else? Burritos. The burritos are really fire. Yeah. So now back to Tribe. When we were moving on to the next song, actually,
yes.
we were going on to Scenario.
Yes. And dude, okay, so with Scenario, man, with the box,
Dude, that music
they
video at
played
that
that
time.
bitch so many times, man.
Doo-doo-doo.
Yes, I remember the box. It was Missy Elliott's "I Can't Stand the Rain" and for some reason Scenario. So I remember, and Busta Rhymes, "This Is Serious."
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can make you delirious. It was just a weird pocket of time where I remember these videos just looping, bro, like all the fucking time.
And then, and if you didn't catch Scenario there, I had to wait for like the '90s theme version of the box.
yeah,
and that's where I was just like, damn.
They said
able to
that
find
they said
Scenario.
on this track you could feel the energy like in the room while they were making it, obviously. But
it feels like a cipher, man.
But-
It just
Yeah, because
feels
Pasta
living.
Noose is in there from De La Soul.
yeah, there was a lot of
people
heads
just
in
make
there.
cameos.
Once Busta delivered his verse, everybody was like, "Nah, we got to redo ours."
I like that.
that's
I
how-
love that.
That's how
idea.
good like Busta's verse was on this track. They just all had to redo it.
I love to be the idea that I'm the reason you had to change your verse.
Yeah. Just don't
If
make
you
me
cha-
change
if you
my
change- yeah, if
just
you
don't
ch-
make me change my verse, Andre. I'm good. I'm good on my verse. I have Andre be featuring on.
I
on
fuck
one of
that
the
feature
tracks.
up. I'm just Andre 3000 and shit. Like
And I'm
about
like,
to hit him with a
at
feature
first I'm
that's
like, yeah, go
crazy.
first, but then I'm like, no, maybe you
Nah,
should go last.
Let me lead. Let
But
me
then
let
I'm
me
like,
end this
you
bitch. Let me end it, man.
The first part of this, the first 4 bars goes to Phife Dawg.
Yeah,
And the main thing around this time was the main athlete around this time before Ken Griffey Jr. started popping off on the baseball side was the dual athlete Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, baby.
Bo knows.
yeah.
Hey, yo, Bo knows this, what? And Bo knows that. But Bo don't know Jack because Bo can't rap.
Right.
So Bo Jackson has a lot of these attributes, but Bo can't
Bo
rap.
don't know Jack. Ugh.
That bar, man.
Well, what do you know? The Did-Dog is first up to bat. Batteries included and
Oh.
no strings attached.
No batteries though. Like
I'm
no.
sorry.
So he went from first to bat to batteries included, no strings attached.
I
man.
might be in the moment, but just based off of that little snippet right there, I'm goading Phife here. Just off of that alone.
Yeah, he's
To me,
extremely
that is
extremely
ill.
underrated MC.
That is ill.
Up to bat, no batteries included, no strings attached, no holds barred. No, oh god, no time for moving faking. No time for move faking. Got to get the loot so I can bring home the bacon. Brothers front, they say the tribe can't flow, but we've been known to do impossible. Man, it's
Like,
just
so due to the impossible, like Broadway Joe Namath coming back at the Super Bowl 5, I believe. Broadway Joe Namath, yeah. So that was So there was an insurmountable comeback that Joe Namath had to do, but I guess it was impossible. Shout out to the New York Jets for this one, I guess. I'm not a Jets fan, but Joe Namath. So like you,
Backhanded. Just shout
just
out
like,
to them,
yeah,
I guess.
fuck Jets real quick.
I like the fact that this is Phife Dawg's wheelhouse. He knows sports. He like at this time he was infatuated with sports. Even talking about he was a Knicks fan. The first Knicks fan that I can honestly like reference to besides Spike Lee is Phife Dawg.
Yeah.
Facts.
And then you know,
Besides Spike.
but this is a testament to show you that he actually fucks with New York sports and sports in general too. To even throw out Broadway Joe's nickname, even though at this time Joe Namath had to have been retired 10, 15 years already.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I just love the idea that, because Phife talked about this, that he would come from Queens on a train to Manhattan, and he would be writing his rhymes on that train. Like, I'm just picturing him on his way to the studio from Queens, writing his verses in the train. And I know, like, I'm like, how are you that focused in this train? Like, a lot of things go on in the train, man. In the subway, so much things go on.
Train was madness, right?
Like, how do you focus?
Anything could
Well,
happen.
keep in mind,
Anything could happen.
I like most of the time I have my luggage with me, so I'm just
Yeah.
like, I fucking hate the train. Like I was
There's
never
just-
writing rhymes.
There's
and shit.
always
I would've been
something. There's always something going on though in the
Always,
subway.
man.
It's like, you know, how did you?
Everyone's always
focus?
sizing each other up.
People
trying to
dance.
fight.
Yeah, people are dancing on the
Thank you
pole.
for your time.
Yeah,
Go to
yeah.
the next train.
You know,
Got any
like
spare change?
expecting.
Are you
expecting
sure?
to get money.
Are you sure you got spare change?
What you writing there? A verse? Huh?
Let me see your paper.
I want to battle you.
I'm a better writer than
I
you.
just love the fact that he was able to write on his way there and then do his show up. Like, hey, what's up, guys? You know,
Yeah,
do his thing.
having the wherewithal to do all
And
that.
he said when he did his thing, I think it was probably on Bugging Out, I think, but when he did his thing and he came out the booth, like he said, like they were just like jaws dropped.
just the
Jaws
frustration
dropped.
of
They
being
died.
on the train. You just
people
do the
dead.
best verse of your life.
yeah.
People just fucked up for life.
So yeah, so
I'm all that and then some, short, dark, and handsome, busted nut inside your eye to show you where I come from.
Come on, man.
I'm
That's
vexed.
an iconic line,
Fuming,
bro.
had it up to here. My days of pain dues are over. Acknowledge me as in there. I like that.
That's fire,
Vexed.
man.
I like when people use vexed in a rhyme. It's a super versatile word.
Wait, head for the border. Go get a taco. That's a Taco Bell line.
Watch me wreck it from the jump street, meaning from the get go.
Yeah, yeah. So come on, man.
Breaking off what jump street meant. Giving you the exact definition and literally putting meaning from the get go.
Wait,
they knew they had a hit here. I know they all knew.
No,
that.
I mean it's one of those things. We've been in the studio when you have like enough people there and everybody's just
the energy. Yeah.
It's about how everybody feels when you might have to hear the first verse for everybody to get on point, you know. But when everybody's in that zone, man, I've seen it happen where everybody just handles their business because everybody's doing it.
So scenario also includes features from the leaders of the new school, Charlie Brown and Busta Rhymes, and I like verses like this where you get to see the first iterations of people.
Yeah.
The best example besides this would be "Life's a Bitch" featuring AZ
killed
on Illmatic. This would be the red carpet rollout for a lot of rappers. So with AZ did his thing, killed it on Illmatic on Life's a Bitch. Same thing with Charlie Brown and Busta Rhymes on this. Charlie Brown took his own little approach. Scooby-Doo, Wooby-Doo, scenarios, radios, rates more than 4, scores for the s'mores.
Dinko
That's
D?
some other dance floors.
I have it that's Dinko D, right?
Yes. On no, I have it.
Dinko D's in that. Dinko D did the Scooby Doo joint.
Scooby Doo.
Okay, yeah.
Scooby Doo, Whoopie Doo.
Oh yeah,
Whoopie Dog.
Went on the
Scooby-Doo,
wrong
Whoopie
verse
Dog.
already. No, but so I say
Whoopie-
they call
Whoopie
me
Woo.
Charlie. The word is a herb, and I'm deep like Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Lay back on the playback. Evolve, rotate the gates. Contact. Can I get a hit? Hit. Boom, bip with the brother named Tip, and we're ready to flip. He goes on this crazy East Coast stomping,
Yeah,
ripping
yeah.
and romping, New York, North Kakalaka, and Compton.
Yeah.
A good adjustment, good voice adjustment. It was just like playing with the
Kind of
beat.
makes you aware that they're aware of that sound.
Right,
You know?
but it's
I feel like the puppet on the string, kind of
organic,
like
though. It's organic. bro.
yeah, and even perhaps even organic while he was recording it of how he just felt. I feel like when rappers do this,
Yeah.
that they feel, this is the
They go off the feeling of it.
yeah, and this is the energy that they feel that they need to place on this versus saying East Coast stomping, ripping and romping, New York, North Kakalaka, and Compton.
Yeah.
Nah, he played with it. He just is able to like
The
the
loops for
best
the
example
troops-
would be
wait,
just puppet on a string.
wait,
Was
the
able-
loops for the troops, more bounce to the ounce, and wow now brown cow.
yeah.
Wow now how
tongue
now
twister.
how now brown cow. Like he
Wow,
got
now,
it
wow.
first try, man, and the shit was fire, man.
That is
He
tricky.
made that shit sound-
That is tricky.
But remember,
Wow,
back in
now,
the-
wow, how now? Yeah. That's
But
tricky.
no, but I mean, I can't quote it like exactly how it's in the song, right? But every time I hear it in the song, it's perfected, bro. It's like it's just perfect.
Yeah.
I can't do it off the top. And wow, how now brown cow. Like I can't do it off the cap right now. But that's one of those joints where when they would throw tongue twisters in the mix, right? Back in the day, I mean, it used to be playing with literary devices and throwing whatever we can, right? And if you were dope as an MC, you throw in a tongue twister, especially if you're a fast rapper, right? But in this situation, they just threw in another tongue twister, man. And wow, how now, brown cow. I can't even do it off the cat. I promise.
You kind of get 2 or 3 different styles from Charlie Brown on this too.
Oh, absolutely.
Get him messing around with the North Cackalack and Compton, then going a little quick, little sped up. But in the beginning, with his introduction, the first 4 bars are very, I'd say, normally presented as a rapper.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I like the versatile style that he was able to
Arsenio
present.
gets a lot of shout outs.
Arsenio's nice, man.
Yeah, he does.
He gets a lot of shout outs.
I grew up the Arsenio.
He was only
man.
tonight. He was the only like black.
Yeah, he was only black
late
Tonight Show host that we had.
Host, man.
If we weren't watching in Living Color, we were watching Arsenio.
Yeah.
Arsenio. Oh.
Even as a little kid.
Back to Dinko D's verse, like I mentioned.
Scooby Doo, Whoopie Doo scenarios, radios, race more than 4 scores.
The S alliteration.
For the s'mores that smothered dance floors. No, they was going hard, man. Dinko D went hard, right? But Busta kind of like shut.
It's crazy though, because like when I see these lyrics, I'm like, man, I can't pull this off on this track. Like if I were to go,
at the time, right? No, I'm saying this is like elite lyricism at the time. This is the most we would consider Scenario to be the most deliberately out loud and lyrical song.
Everyone heard Buster's verse and took it personal.
Right, they took it personal. Everybody wrote their own fucking version.
Because this motherfucker's on Scooby Doo, Whoopie Doo, scenarios, radios, rates more than 4. Ship shapes, crust grapes, 8s that play tapes, papes make Drakes bake for the wakes of Ella, Alita, simply just Alita. Base in the space means peace. See you later. Like damn, man,
like, what are you doing, bro?
A little homage to the leaders of the new school.
Wait, but then Q-Tip and Busta Rhymes, right? It's a leader quest mission, and we got the goods here, right? So leader quest. So we got leaders of old school and quest mission. So yeah, never on the left because my right's my good ear, right? So it's like he got everything in the right spot. I could give a damn about a little subliminal, stay away from crime so I ain't no criminal. But like, remember, this is that period though. Stay away from crime so I ain't no criminal, man. That's very reminiscent of the period of time, man. But nah, what happened is Busta just stomps everybody's nutsacks, bro. Nutsacks are stomped, bro. Watch as I combine all the juice from the mind. Heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind. Powerful impact. Boom! From the cannon. And we use that on a song ourselves. Me and Mark used the powerful impact.
That sample comes from Black Moon.
Black Moon. Yeah. But our song is called Powerful Impact.
Yeah.
So yeah. Powerful impact. Boom! From the cannon. We got that straight from this shit. Not bragging, trying to read my mind. Just imagine. Vocabularies necessary when digging in my library. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah, because they even sampled that later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the concept that Busta just brought a whole nother, like, look at the rah, like a dungeon dragon, right?
I love
they
Busta
use that.
so much,
They use that shit back later with Nicki Minaj, man. So yeah, this is the energy that I feel like Busta took with him for the rest of his career. This is one of the verses that every time we even mention Busta will be a part of Scenario, man.
Try to step to this, I'll twist you in a turban and have you smelling rank like some old stale urine. So,
but you'll be smelling rank, right?
I like
you'll
how
be
he's
smelling his rank, but you'll also be smelling rank like bad. Like,
I like how he's able to come off lyrically, but still toy with maybe the audience on this, where he's just able to say, going back to the other verse that we had, all over the track, pardon me,
as I come back.
Like
Busta used that in, I think, Anarchy. He used it in Anarchy. Wait, either Anarchy, Genesis, or Extinction Level Event. But one of his hooks was literally that part. And the hook, it sounds ridiculous, right? But it's just reference to this verse. This verse has so many references through Busta Rhymes' career that it's fucking incredible, bro. This one verse alone, man. So that says a lot about the trajectory that Busta got from this verse.
Legendary verse.
Oh, hell yeah.
Can we put it there? Legendary
this
verse?
is a legendary song.
Oh, facts.
Yeah, for sure.
Facts.
But
for
yeah,
sure.
no, this
verse
is
does shine.
Facts.
Yeah, if hip hop heads have to talk about top 10 verses, this gots to be in the top 10.
Facts.
I would even try to like maybe even flirt it with it has to be in your 5.
It has to be.
And what Andre mentioned a few episodes ago, hip hop is so vast, so near limitless now. We're talking almost 40, 50 years of hip hop. But Busta's verse still is able to be in
Withstand
competition of the 10, I
Yes.
would say.
Withstand time completely.
Busta was at this time. He had a group, right?
This is
before
his,
this?
yeah.
the ground-
Well, so this is Leaders of the New
Leaders on
School.
I said leaders of the
Now
underground.
that group dissolved. Is that
Yeah,
what happened?
so-
with
I
that
mean,
group?
they busted. I mean, come on, we want busted.
Let's come into the learning tree. So check this out. So Yo MTV Raps does an interview with Leaders of the New School. And I don't know whether it was for the sake of the camera or the sake of, for the producers, but it was Fab Five Freddy and Leaders of the New School doing an interview about themselves. Now, I don't know if this came fresh off a scenario, but the documentary that I was watching actually hinted towards the fact that this led to the split up of the Leaders of the New School because Busta Rhymes was basically getting the solos,
Did his solo
and
thing.
everything.
being Method
And you
Man,
kind of
being
figured-
Method Man, basically.
You kind of figured out who was going to be, who was going to be rising to the top out of this group.
Right.
And at that point, you see like this argument, kind of off camera, but the cameraman gets it of
Yeah.
like Charlie Brown and Busta Rhymes arguing.
You showed me that one.
So yeah, it was kind of Yo MTV Raps kind of had the dig on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Busta was so ahead, man. And if he, like I told you guys, man, like a lot of this started because of Busta Rhymes' album Extinction Level Event. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be here without Busta's album. you
And
know?
I've listened to Leaders of the New School's first album effort, and it's a good album. But I mean, what would you rather have? Like, would even in Busta's case,
I'd rather have Busta, honestly.
Like even looking at Busta's case, it's like, hey, look, am I gonna be this big fish in this pond?
Yeah.
Or do I try myself to be a big fish, grow as a bigger fish into this ocean?
Yeah.
And he took that, and
He
look
did.
at where it took it now,
Yeah.
where he even made a more iconic verse
Yeah. His
later
discog-
on,
his
even in the
discography
later
is
twilight, in
crazy.
the twilight of his career. But like,
Is he still doing projects? Busta to this day?
Okay. So Extinction Level Event is what got Andre here, right? Extinction Level Event 2 was the last album that he dropped. I'm gonna just be as straightforward as possible. Busta did something I didn't think about. He did every style he's ever done in his entire life, that whole album. Every single style. From the beginning of his career till now. Extinction Level Event 2, he did everything. Everything you could think of. And as an artist, as a versatile artist like Busta Rhymes, it is like, when I heard it the first time, right? Extinction Level Event 2, there's like maybe 4 different versions of this album now because it was so good. But initially, Extinction Level Event 1, it was like my breakthrough. And Extinction Level Event 2, everybody hates a sequel, right? Because it's like, okay, you're just trying to get more sales. He actually beat Extinction Level Event 1. He beat it because he simply took the idea of, I'm going to do a hip hop song here. I'm going to do an alternative rap version of what I'm doing here. I'm going to do a pop version of this. I'm going to do a Nicki Minaj version of this. I'm going to do a Kendrick Lamar version of this. And he literally did everything you
That's
could think
crazy,
of.
dude.
But with Busta Rhymes'
Right.
like the current Busta we have, it's really him. It's not like somebody in the studio said, Busta, we need you to go back to that old style. No, it's really from Busta. You could feel Busta Rhymes like really going there. Similar to the newer KRS-One albums. So Busta goes so hard on Extinction Level Event 2. If you avoided it because you hated the album cover, you failed. Listen to it.
That's nice.
You have to
That's
hear
nice
it.
to hear, man.
Yeah, no,
Because Busta's so well rounded too. He was a freestyler.
It's
he
a
was battle
career
rapper.
album. It's a career album. It's like I was trying to find like a Marvel movie that would compile this idea. It's like
he's like Taskmaster.
yeah, he is Taskmaster by himself,
Yeah.
low key. So, Extinction Level Event 2 is the representation of like every absolute thing he's ever attempted up to this point, and it worked.
There's not
Perfect.
a lot of people that can do the conscious rap in the beginning, even within a group, go out of the group, do a solo effort, do Extinction Level 2, do that random song with Janet Jackson.
That's on Extinction Level 2.
Which is sick,
It's on
too.
Extinction
I
Level
like
2,
that.
by the
I
way.
like that song.
And still be able to be even more commercial. Well, I would say commercialized, but his lyrics contain a lot of there's a commercialized essence to it.
Yeah.
But still Busta Rhymes' style.
Well, if I could,
like I would say that he has like he's he's extremely versatile.
I got you.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes has the Snoop Dogg. He like
Yeah.
mentally just align Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes. They can do exactly the same thing. Busta can be anywhere in the world. He can do Japanese clothes washing product commercials, and it wouldn't look wrong compared. Exactly like Snoop, right? Snoop can be in India doing washing powder commercials, and it works. Busta has the same thing, but he's just he's the New York version, right?
Yeah.
So Snoop is the West Coast, and Busta is the East Coast. Busta to me has Andre 3000 level liberties because Busta can make a song with Janet and it works. And Gonna Make You, right? Which is Extinction Level Event 1, one of my favorite albums. He did another version, I think, or it was a sequel to a song he did with Mariah Carey on Extinction Level Event 2. And it goes crazy. It goes crazy. I think he did Janet Jackson and Mariah Carey, but either way it goes. Busta just, he took his whole career and made an album out of it. And after that, I saw that and I said, nothing else can match that level of effort. We're supposed to be talking about Tribe. My bad. Yeah, we're supposed to be talking about Tribe, but
a good excursion
but
here.
Busta and Tribe to me are like they're holding hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So Busta to me, he evolved right in front of everybody's eyes.
And it took this song.
It took this, because he uses scenario a lot. Other artists use scenario to reference Busta. Busta himself, through I think about 2 or 3 albums, maybe even 4 albums, he comes back and references this feature specifically, just in hooks or just different parts of his music. So he knows this song impacted his career, and he has mad respect for it. But
such a big song.
Scenario's huge, man. Scenarios, it's another one of those protect your neck type of situations where it's just a good posse cut where every member in the song is contributing something incredible, man.
Yep.
How now, brown cow? I think I got it.
Now, what's the scenario? Yeah. So with now us talking about these three tracks here, legendary tracks, classic tracks. How would you surmise this, Mark, and kind of put it all together here?
The Low End Theory as a whole?
Yeah.
As a whole, entirely?
Oh wait, before we get on that, hold that thought.
I'm all,
I did want to quickly talk about the album cover because when I first saw the album cover, I didn't put it together.
Yeah, we didn't open with it.
With the Low End Theory, even the title and how is that relevant to the cover, to the album. Let's try to tackle that a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm good on it, man. It's Africa colors, man.
Yeah.
I told you I snuck into the porn stash of my cousin, so it was Midnight Marauders and Low End Theory, and I was holding them both. I did not know they were both Tribe albums as a kid, right? So when I looked at them both, I'm like, is that the same lady? I didn't know it was. I didn't know. So at the time, I didn't know they were going with the same muse, right? It's just a muse, right? The same as Megadeth, right? Megadeth, the rock band, has the same skull, but he's on different bodies through every album cover. So I treated the woman they were using throughout all these projects as the same lady.
yeah. And then the Low End Theory is going to be as far as I want to explain it, when people say, oh, this is kind of the low end of things, like it's a bad example. It's just, this is, entry level. This is the 101, but it's the literal antithesis of that because it's a damn good album. Yeah. I don't know what they were. I'm still trying to figure out what the Low End Theory would be, because it's just.
Well, I saw an interview with Ali, who did explain it. He said that the theory regarding the Low End Theory, it's like really kind of like he joked and said it's a triple entendre, but he said it's really a double entendre, but he joked about a triple entendre there. But he was saying that, yeah, there are obviously like the low end of like this music you're hearing is the low end, like the bass line, that's kind of more amplified when you hear it, the low end of that.
Yeah.
But also too he said Q-Tip's vision of it was more like about like how black culture has got like the low end of the stick in American culture.
Oh, so it's like so it's just the presentation of like
being black.
On a satirical sense, here's the low end theory of what you guys think hip hop is.
Yeah.
But it's actually not.
Yeah.
And you mean, and what's crazy about that is too, right off the bat, when you first hear like excursions, when the bass line comes in, it gives you kind of like, it doesn't say it out. It doesn't like really say it like out there, like this is what this is about, but it does. You do get that feeling or that sense that it's about, they're experimenting with like the lower end sounds, but on a deeper level for Tip leading this, his vision was more like that was more or less kind of the message also behind that.
And then I heard they were not used to winning, right? So it was the low win theory because they didn't win consistently. They didn't win enough times.
I was waiting for something like
that's trying to be deep.
Impactful. What's this?
The low win theory.
What was it? I got some of these.
Well, they lived in an area that they lived in an area that didn't have enough wind.
What's with the wire? What's with the wire?
My dad, 30 years.
Oh my god!
I got it.
Andre's theories. We're gonna find out in 30 years.
In 30 years.
30 years.
What's with the wire?
What's with the wire, man? I'll let you guys know in 30 years, man. You'll get these bars.
So, I mean, to even go back to your original question of what the low end theory means to me, I mean, good Lord, it was my first look into this conscious movement of hip hop. And I actually ended up finding my home for a long time into conscious rap because it was the only bit of 90s hip hop that I liked. And it was just extremely intellectual. And you end up branching into other artists like your Diggable Planets, like your De La Soul, and everyone within the native tongues.
Yeah,
I like that shit, dude.
Yeah, this is the music that Mark would train me with. So if you guys know me for the freestyle shit, I got trained into this through a Tribe Called Quest, man. A lot of the music that Mark would play with Crafty back in the day would be Tribe shit, man. And when I say Tribe shit, it's not, they weren't playing Tribe Called Quest all day, but they would pick music that was along the frequency of a Tribe Called Quest. And their frequency wasn't about ripping people's heads off. They were more so about I call it barbecue. Like, it's just, we at the barbecue together. I'm a Blood, you're a Crip. There's some essays over there, and there's some cartel over there. There's some Yakuzas over there, and we're all the same. We're all the same barbecue. Yeah, what kind of barbecue is this? We're all the same barbecue.
Just one barbecue with all the generic meat.
And the Yakuzas came from Japan and everything. But that's what Tribe feels like. They feel like they can bring
unity.
All these. Yeah, they feel like unity.
Sure.
And it's not cheesy. It feels more unified than Fuji's.
Speaking to that, you know what?
It's more unified.
Speaking of that,
I want to talk about Praz and the FBI shit.
With the unity aspect, that's so key there because they did in a way unify not only those who like hardcore lyrics, but also like those who didn't really like rap at the time.
Right, man. But
they unified that for people to also like rap who didn't like rap.
That pocket of the general listener.
Yeah.
The Walmart listener. And sorry, the Walmart listener might look like a white mom with 4 kids. And she's not gonna listen.
Why that's funny.
She's not gonna listen to Trippie Redd. She's not gonna listen to Cannabis, right?
Right.
She's not gonna listen to Nas. But if Tribe pops on her Spotify, right, with her AI telling her AI DJ, and they play Tribe, she will actually listen to it. I have fact. My mom listening today was the most like beneficial idea. My mom hates rap. She just hates it. So when I was playing Tribe for her today, she was just like, I like them. I don't know whatever this is. I like this, right? And all it is a vibe. Tribe is a vibe. Yeah. It's a vibe that's much less aggressive than I hold the 9, right?
Yeah. Or not being too lyrical, like we were saying.
It's not Ghostface Killer selling you a brick. Right, it's not Raekwon selling you a brick.
Right.
I'm sorry, the Woo references are just from me watching the Woo.
I've
been watching the Woo show, man. This shit has got
have a drinking game and have all the Wu-Tang analogies.
Exactly.
Take a shot.
Yo, bong bong, son. Bong, son. But in reality, but I just to use Woo as an example, Woo's energy alone, there are 8 to 9 individuals bombarding you with lyricism, ideas, and imagery.
Oh, yeah.
A Tribe Called Quest, same contextualization. We're in the context of hip hop. We're in the context of storytelling to you, but we're not gonna slit your throat. We're not gonna behead you for you to understand what we're talking about. Tribe feels like, yo, here, look, we got a plate of some steak, some black eyed peas, some greens, and some yams. Here you go. That's what it feels like. Wu-Tang Clan feels like we got some nails, some knives, some pudding. Maybe that pudding might be enough for you to ingest in, but at the end of the day, you're going to be eating nails, blades, etc. I feel like Tribe didn't want to go that route, and they have more success in the long run for it. Yeah. And when I would compare them, the best thing, I don't want anybody to be offended, but Tribe would be the past versions of the Neptunes. I say this particularly because Neptunes never had a sound that to me felt like they were trying to kill you, right? Neptunes just felt like they were trying to bend the norms as much as they could. And everything they produced just bent the norm. So A Tribe Called Quest to me feels like they're just bending the norms as much as they can while appearing normal, appearing fine. Yeah. A lot of MCs want to be Joker, whereas I feel like Tribe took the role of Batman. And then they look good as Batman. It doesn't look wrong. You know what I'm saying?
And, mentioning that Pharrell was heavily inspired from Tribe.
Oh, absolutely.
Kanye inspired from Tribe. So these are big artists.
Dilla himself was influenced by Tribe.
Yeah. It's like almost like name me a rapper who's not.
Yeah. What did you ended up taking away from the Low End Theory?
From Low End Theory, definitely vibrations. And spirit. Just your overall being. And from here, I just thought it was so brilliantly done. For them to already come out with the first album was nice. It was nice. The first album came out, they had great success. Now, for the sophomore album, it's like they doubled down. They went more into the trenches and and outdid themselves. That to me is very beautiful for you to be like not trying to please the mainstream or trying to go too commercial, but just kind of doing your own thing and saying, nah, I'm just going to, and the fact that Q-Tip, not only is he a dope MC, but he's also evolved as a producer and was a big part in making this music and shaping it to be what they wanted it to be. It was nice. They got Phife more involved, which is beautiful because those two just sound amazing together.
They holding hands, man.
And I loved the fact that they were very much positioned. Coming out of De La Soul, they were around that area. They could have sounded more like De La Soul and been more like psychedelic or more like that. But they still did their own thing. Tribe did its own thing still. Even coming out of that. So I just felt like overall, this album has a lot here. Not only just lyrically, but also in the production. Very smart, very well put together. I loved the idea that they just kind of brought it back to basics with this album, and it hit
too hard.
The bass, the drums, and they what they did with sampling at that time, that wasn't even done like that. The sampling was very it's one sample and that's it. But they mixed different samples and brought them together, which was amazing. Yeah. They would sample drums, boom, and then they would sample a different bass or something else, the horns or whatever. I didn't start playing around with that as myself when I was beat making. I would beat make, but I would just use the drumming tool. Yeah. I never thought to even sample drums. I never even thought about that. But then I started doing that, and that's something that they've been doing a long time ago. Yeah. And so to me, it's they were very. It was a Renaissance period when they came out, and I felt like it was just different. Different. Maybe it might have been even overlooked at the time. People might not have hit people as the way we see it now, because obviously now in retrospect everything's 2020. But it's for sure lasted the test of time.
Low End Theory is Terminator 2.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. It's it's so good you don't even want to look for the previous
Yeah.
outing. You just rather have this one.
Yeah.
It feels like they put everything that they. A lot of the albums we cover, we look at the first album and then we look at the second and go, okay, they try something new, right? On this one, it's just like we double down on what we know, and we get a result that matters. And then for the rest of their career, we're going to be looking back at this. And by the way, shout out to Low End Theory that used to be in L.A. Low End Theory used to be about beat music, instrumentals and stuff like that out in L.A. It was one of the most refined, most amazing events at the Airliner, I believe it's called, out in L.A. They shut it down some years back, but it was the best beat event in the world you can go to. It was called Low End Theory.
Copyright? Should have
No copyright. They were good, bro. They were good. So yeah, I even think Q-Tip even did Low End Theory at one point. He actually played his beats at Low End Theory. So Low End Theory was all about playing your beat music and just like showing your dopest beats. Like it's like a bunch of Jay Dilla.
Cool,
It's like Dilla and Madlib and them.
Yeah, that's
just
cool,
playing
actually.
their dopest beats. So yeah, Low
So
End
they
Theory.
ended entirely. They don't. Still
Yeah,
do
they
it
shut down some years ago. But man, they were one of the best in the world to go to hear this instrumental, jazz instrumental beat music. And they shut down a while back, but it's one of the biggest names at the time when it was running. Low End Theory, y'all already know. Rest in peace, man. But yeah, I just wanted to put that there.
I think we covered this pretty well. And you know, I hope that we come back to some other projects that these three did.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, 4 if you want to include
Jerobi.
Jerobi.
Still waiting for your verse, homeboy.
I want to say rest in peace to Phife Dawg, though. I really, I think Phife Dawg is my favorite out of here. I really liked his style a lot, you know. So out of here, I've taken away so much out of this album. I'm glad that we covered it and we got the chance to kind of dig a little bit deeper on this one. I feel like definitely today it's still man, holds so much weight.
It don't move. It doesn't move. That's a classic.
Yeah. So I hope it inspires somebody out there who is writing or who is, you know, working on a project, or if you haven't started yet, but you're barely getting into it. Like,
or you're on the verge of giving up.
Yeah. Check seriously, you know, check them out. Check them out. If you haven't got to sit down and listen to it, it's worth the listen.
Factual.
Yeah.
So we will continue on to our journey, our quest down these albums, and we're dropping every Monday. So we'll start to drop. We took a little break because of Easter weekend and things kind of happen really fast. You know, life kind of goes fast, but
Jesus came through, handled business.
We're here. Jesus came through. We're here to continue on. We'll be dropping every Monday. And thank you guys for your love and support, and much peace, much love.
These my brothers, man.
See ya.
That's hip hop.